These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Mountain Goat. Says, so according to Shafak News, the Parliamentary Finance Committee discussed on Thursday with the Central Bank of Iraq the monetary policy and banking systems in the country and ways to increase the value of the Iraqi dinar. I quote from the article, to discuss monetary policy, the banking system in country, and ways to increase the value of the Iraqi dinar. Mountain Goat says, folks, I don't know about you, but this article was wow. Frank 26 says, JP Morgan representatives at a Chase Banks, why are they here? Why are they there? Why do they have all these cubicles that they're setting up? And they don't even say it's not a scam. They simply say, when it happens, we're ready for you. The whole mantra / attitude is changing, but it doesn't change all at once. It's a slow process. It travels from east to the west, north to the south. That's the information that is slowly being given to everybody that is going to be involved in this exchange process. Militiaman article, quote, Parliamentary Finance, the federal budget is in the corridors of the Council of Ministers. There is no specific date for sending it. Quote, on June 12, 2023, the Iraqi parliament approved the tripartite budget law for the years 2023, 24, and 25. Last year's total budget amounted to 197 billion dinars, which is the largest in the country's history. Take note that they used 197 billion dinars, that is a little over 150 million USD, at the current exchange rate of 1,310 IQD. Militiaman says, seriously, I do not think so, unless they have done something we have yet to see. Pimpy says everyone is excited that Iraq has completed all the requirements to join the World Trade Organization, but the bigger question is what's next for Iraq? There's this impression going around the Iraqi Dinar community that this is going to happen next week or next month. Is this true, or could the process take longer? What's remaining for Iraq? Pimpy says approval by the General Council, which is composed of all WTO members. As of now, they don't appear to be on the calendar to be voted in. We got between now and June to see if indeed Iraq is added to the calendar, unless for some reason the WTO holds a special session. Mark Z via PDK says, I think things are in a mad dash to the finish line. We have an impending visit from a Sudani here in the US. We have Sudani on Friday mentioning the rate of $1.32, which is very specific. Comment, the $1.32 rate is actually 76 cents US for each dinar. Al-Sudani promised the Iraqi people the dinar world would be stronger than the dollar. 76 cents is not stronger. Mark Z says they may be floating the rates of $1.32 and 76 cents to get people ready for a change. I still think it will be more in the $3 to $4 range, but I could be wrong. In my opinion, $1.32 and 76-cent rates would still be fantastic. Guru Fanun Lu on the issue of old notes circulated versus new notes uncirculated. I can tell you this. The Oil for Dinar program is very real. Those are called private placements. They require only uncirculated notes to participate. Otherwise, if you aren't in such a private placement exchange, then it doesn't matter at all. Also, new uncirculated notes of certain serial numbers are going to be used as bonds. The new dinar have all the info needed to be used as bonds, and it was planned this way before the new notes were printed. They will be used on the unregulated trading platforms in Shanghai as part of certain trading packages. Frank 26 says the Prime Minister is going to Washington, D.C. He's going to talk to the U.S. Treasury about the new exchange rate. He's talking about it with everybody. Claire has an article, quote, Al-Sudani intends to visit Washington to lift the ban on banks prohibited from dealing in dollars. Quote, the head of the Iraqi Securities Commission, Faisal al-Hamaz, announced that the three Iraqi banks were sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury and 25 banks were banned from dealing in dollars. Walking Stick says WTO means currency restriction fee. Therefore, all members can use multiple foreign currencies to buy, sell, and trade, but Iraq has decided all contracts that have been recently signed with Sudani must be converted into Iraqi dinars. Sampson has an article, quote, Al-Sudani, though there are those who want to obstruct reconstruction, and they will not discourage the government from proceeding with its plans. Militiaman says Al-Sudani talked about having a dollar equaling 1.32 dinars. I believe, in my view, is when they drop the 3 zeros from the exchange rate is when you'll have about 76 cents USD. Then they apply the real effective exchange rate to that, and that's going to be based off of their assets. Mark Z says there's tremendous amount of chatter from my contacts with expectations for the next day or two. We will see, but I think that may be a little premature. I do feel really good about where we are. Pimpy says Vietnam became 150th member of the World Trade Organization back in 2007 with the same icky exchange rate. Not only that, but Vietnam is currently trading on the Forex. In addition to that, Vietnam is on the SWIFT system. When you try to look up Iraq, there is no Iraq because they're not on the SWIFT system. So you have Vietnam with a way worse exchange rate than Iraq, part of the World Trade Organization, on SWIFT, and they're trading on the Forex. If Vietnam is there with their current exchange rate, then there's no doubt Iraq can be on these programs as well at their current exchange rate. Frank26 says, I was excited when Sudani suggested 1.32, but now I am crazy excited to see Alak, the governor of Central Bank of Iraq, suggesting the same thing. And lastly, Mark Z via PDK says, I have a number of banking contacts that have launched into overdrive for this week. Lots of people expected announcements overnight last night. The electronic platforms being wildly successful is key to them implementing their change in value. And the real effective exchange rate, or the REER, is expected this week according to Iraqi contacts. Most of my Iraqi contacts expect it by April 1st, praying they are right.